Hello, hello, and welcome back to our Blood Rush League qualifier matches. We do have Spirit between Hope versus Supremacy right now. We're seeing Hope's Killer Sky here get quite an early hit here over on the far side of the map as he commits to the ace on Shack. While we're here, let me welcome my lovely co-caster Yonder. Say hi, Yonder.
Hello, everyone.
And it looks like we're going to be committing our Survivor here on the far side of the map. Getting the miss on the pallet, quite unfortunate. And let's see what our killer can do here.
A pretty early chase, I would say. Although obviously a very early target, it seems that our ace here is actually able to hold the chase quite often. Ooh, very unfortunate miss from our Spirit here. The ace really just absolutely cooking on this first chase, even with the early tag. Hearts, what do you expect from Spirit on this very interesting choice of a map?
Honestly, I'm saying anywhere from 6 to 10 stages, depending how good the spirit is. Could even be 4K ones, as because we've seen a few 4Ks before. But considering our ace got found so early, he's having such a beautiful chase here. We see the first gem pop in the background, and our spirit is trying to mind game him here with the husk, and the mind game does come through. Beautiful mind game from our spirit. Sky just opting to pick here and try and find a pain res, because we know that these survivors are going to be splitting their gens and playing for progress here.
As we do see here, we did see the Painless proc, seeing the park losing a token. Very interesting, but I mean definitely being aware that the game can very easily go into the end game, even though we have Painless and Eruption. So don't know it here will maybe even secure the 4K for our Spirit here. But as of right now, the game. Oh,
That was a
very quick,
beautiful read,
very
yeah.
quick.
Oh, but the flashy save
Oh!
coming through from Dave here. Beautiful flashy save onto Rink here. Getting the chain blind, and we do see Champion of Light. And yeah, as you were saying, Yonder, the choice of Noed is interesting, but I see it being used a few times because these games on a map like this can just snowball anytime. And as I say that, we saw the flashy save come through, and then Rink getting tapped here on the window. So beautiful stuff from Sky here as he takes the pick, and we see that he gets it safely this time. Probably going to opt to hook towards Shack and secure another pain res, possibly.
It
It
seems
looks like we
that's more.
see, yeah, the pain res eruption come through here. Beautiful combo choice. But yeah, how do you feel personally about the Noah choice here?
I mean, as I stated earlier, the chase of Noed is just a very safe option, plan B. Um, there were, how's it called, back, quote unquote, back in my day, because I'm not in com for too long. Um, Back in my day, No Way Out was actually the go-to in terms of any game perks, like just trying
Yeah,
to stall out the
definitely.
gauge, trying to go for downs. But Noed, I think, will always just be the plan B in pretty much every setting, every setting in DBD, whether it's pubs or comp. Noed, or especially on like just a normal M1 killer, or a killer that can has like a movement ability like Spirit here,
Yeah,
who
but does
technically is just
swing
in
with M1,
M1.
yeah, technically an M1.
Yeah, would be a very safe choice to just secure more stages. We do see the down again on Ada here. Maybe a potential decisive if it's allowed. I'm not really sure about the balancing. Currently I still have to check it out fully. Apparently not a decisive, which is very unfortunate. We did see the eruption get procced on the earlier kick gen,
Yeah,
just
but
phasing away back on the.
holy Yonder, we do see 3 gens pop in the background here with some progress on this mid gen
Oof.
here. It's looking quite rough for our killer, so I do see why the Noed was brought. Could be a less confident spirit player here, but they're definitely doing well trying to secure this tunnel out, hooking towards their gens. So anything could really happen here with this gen setup they have, just hooked right in the middle of the setup.
Very strong hook there. Very strong gen setup, I would say, actually. Again, everything, like the hook being in the middle of the sub, just a very great hook there. And, oh, we do see someone rotate for the point. Most likely gonna be a trade. No, not phasing. Just gonna take the M1 and go
Yeah,
for the
Orella getting that
ability here.
unhook for free, which was very, very beautiful from her, coming in at just the right time to get it for free. It looks like we're going to be taking the chase onto Rink here on the top of main and getting that down beautifully and quickly. Just going to opt to pick Rink here and hook him towards our gen split, probably at the top of main, and then go check on our gens would be the ideal thing to do here from our killer.
Yep, we do see the Ada gun, a 3v1 situation already. I would say that perhaps there is a possibility that Noed will not come in play, and that the killer here will secure a 4K.
Yeah,
Ooh!
definitely. Our killer here just beautifully beautiful eyes here. Just has the most beautiful eyesight I've ever seen because I didn't even see that Arella there. But we do see a gen pop in the distance. This could still be us for our survivor if our Arella has a game-changing chase here, which could be possible, honestly. Anything could really happen on a map like Almond here.
Yeah, like I said earlier, it's a very interesting. Ooh, very unfortunate. It's a very it's Ormond in general as a map is a one of the more unique maps from a gameplay and obviously a visual standpoint. And to see this mapping come, especially in like Spirit, can definitely deliver some very interesting results.
And as I mentioned earlier about our Arella, if she does have a game-changing chase here, these guys could possibly pop and go for outs here. And it looks like that's exactly what our Arella's done. We've lost her here over on the one side of the map. Looks like we're going to be going back towards our 3-gen setup. But we hear that progress rolling in on these gens, getting the M1 onto Renato, and possibly just going to opt to kick this for Eruption, which is what we do.
Obviously, just slowly playing Eruption, maybe trying to, slowly put the survivors back in their place, trying to actually get a quick down and proc Eruption, and, obviously just go for more attacks. Ooh, very unfortunate miss from our Spirit here.
Yeah, swinging just a little too early as he gets the life proc through, I believe, because that was not balanced, as I heard stagger. Yeah, just opting to break this filler towards our gens and possibly commit our ace here as he's our last healthy survivor on the board, meaning that we should be able to identify where everyone else is quite easily on a map like Almond. Oh, but as I say that, we do spot out our
Ooh.
Renato caught out in a bad spot towards Shack. We'll be going down on the edge of Shack here, and we see the eruption proc come through onto our gen that we had erupted earlier.
That is a very unfortunate find for our survivors here, but obviously for a very good find for our killer here, who just got to proc their eruption. Just going back to the gen, seeing where the survivors could have possibly resetted, probably around towards main. And yeah, this is actually a very beautiful split for our Spirit player. If she can get some eruptions going and obviously more downs, this could genuinely be a 4K, regardless of the slower mid game.
Yeah, definitely agree with you here, especially with these mistakes that some of our survivors are making. As Dave here, for example, had just walked into a wall, giving an early tag as she has her phase ready, which means this could possibly result in a quick 2-tap here. And it looks like Dave has nothing to work with really here as our killer possibly makes this. No, it looks like Dave's just able to make this beautifully. Very, very nice stuff from Dave. And we just got to see what they can do here. They're trying to champion of light tech, but it's not enough. Opting to just pick Dave here as our killer knows that the progress on the gens isn't too high.
If I'm not mistaken here, this could actually be a pain res, which it is. This is huge for our killer here. Proccing pain res here will definitely slow the game even more, which,
Oh,
ooh, nice!
very beautiful reads from Sky here, playing the spirit beautifully. Now I see why that Noed was in the back pocket, but I also don't at the same time because they're just such a good spirit player. They're playing this beautifully, but Noed might just get its value here on the last survivor standing, which is our ace. So see how this plays out.
This will most likely result in a,
Yeah,
yeah, very
the
quick
Noed
down, not
value.
falling for the mind game. Um, well, we were talking from Noed possibly just giving more stages and for the survivors getting out to a 4K1, but then we still have 4K0 and Noed also getting value. So I think everything just lined up very well, very nicely, and we do see the 4K0 for our for our Hope killer here.
Yeah, definitely a great result coming in on a map like Almond with Spirit. Spirit does have high mobility, but on a map this large, honestly, her mobility just doesn't even matter. like it all comes down to how well survivors play and playing around survivor mistakes, which is what our killer did here beautifully. So yeah, we'll be back after a short intermission with the second half of our best of one. Hello, hello, and welcome back to the second half of our best of one between Hope and Supremacy. We see Supremacy's killer here, Cross, having to play for a 4K1 win con, 4K0 tie con here for the spot in Blood Rush League's main bracket. It looks like we're finding Rax here early into the game and getting our chase onto Arella here quite early. So let's see what can really happen. Mind gaming this beautifully, reading our survivor beautifully, and getting that early hit. Now all it comes down to is the fast chase coming to an end because as we saw last game, Mr. Yonder, our survivor did get tagged early, but they managed to jiggy for so long that it just did not matter. So our Aurella's really gonna have to pull something out here and put on the best show.
I mean, I'm very sure that Yorella here, as we see, just runs towards main, dropping a very safe pallet. Probably gonna buy some time. Although this might not be the case. Oh, a very nice prediction on the spot. Hitting Ziorella here, getting that down. Gonna go for the Painless immediately, or at least hoping to go for a Painless. Yes, definitely going for the Painless here. Very interesting build. Not going for a plan B, definitely going full on slowdown. Definitely wanting to get that Wincon, obviously, to get into the main bracket of the Blood Rush League. And yeah, as we can see here, the Spirit already on a gen, applying Eruption. Although we do see a gen pop in the background. Let's see if our Spirit here will actually get the Wincon.
Yeah, definitely agree with you on the build here, which we shouldn't be running Noed, which is what they've done because their wincon is a 4K1 currently, so they're definitely going to just have to play for that wincon. And how are we feeling about the choice of Wretched? Because personally, when I see it used, it just depends on the killer's macro and micro, because I've seen a lot of killers who actually end up tunneling out their obsession, which is the Wretched player. But it looks like our killer here is playing this perfectly so far, so I'm with the Wretched usage. How about you, Yonder?
I I will be completely honest, before starting to cast for Blood Rush League, I actually never saw Wretched used in comp. I'm sure it was used in other leagues. I was just not looking at other games. Very unfortunate here,
Yeah,
hitting the
unable to
survivor on the
force the
hook.
trade. That was so unfortunate. We could see them shaking their head a little bit. They're a bit mad about it. But honestly, this could make or break the game, not getting that trade in. So let's just see what happens here.
Oof.
Because now we have no pressure across the board as our survivors are able to roam freely as we chase out Aurela here. So yeah, let's just see what Aurela is able to pull out.
Maybe Lorella here can get a pretty decent chase here. It all comes down to if she can win these 50s, which unfortunately does not happen. Going a bit back on what I was saying earlier, Ratchet Shop obviously a very strong perk. I think the only real thing the killer has to do is to just not forget that obviously Ratchet procs on the obsession. And
Yeah, and
if
not
that,
tunnel out their obsession,
yeah.
definitely. It's happened way
But
too much and it hurts. It hurts to watch, but I love that our killer is playing beautifully with the use of Wretched. But we do see our survivors do pop two gens in the background here with a third gen cranking as our killer applies eruption to it. So honestly, it's looking very similar to last game's result from our Spirit Sky. So honestly, it's going to be a close game here.
definitely gonna be a close game here. We do see I wasn't really paying attention. Probably gonna be the ace. Yes, the ace getting a very nice and quick tag on the ace here. Everyone injured. A very dangerous spot for the survivors to be here, and or everyone injured here, making Spirit track them way easier. Although at 2 gens left, the Spirit can still get that win con if the chase here doesn't last too long.
Yeah, and it's we saw someone at 12 there, but our killer opted to just not commit, which was unfortunate. But it looks like we're just going to be opting to pick up our Arella and play for that quick tunnel out at two gens remaining. It's really close, honestly. I believe both games had a tunnel out at two gens remaining, so we'll see what goes down here. But oh my god, we do spot the
Ooh.
family reunion here in the main building as we commit to Lost on the outside of main here.
Oh, this is most likely going to be a very quick chase. Oh, very unfortunate going for the swing on the window here. Very unfortunate for our Spirit player here, but this will most likely be a very quick down since this pallet is just kind of bad to play with like on with a character like Spirit. Yeah, the down here very quick. Unfortunately, this is the person affected by Wretched Fate, so there's not going to be a survivor heavily slowed down on generators, but that's fine. There's still only two survivors being able to work on these generators. So I would say that our Spirit right now is in a very good position.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. She's in a beautiful position, but this gen split is really in her favor too. So anything could really happen here because we saw a beautiful gen split that was even better than this last game, but our survivors managed to pop all 5 gens last game. So honestly, anything is possible again on a map like Almond because it's just so large. Killer has mobility, but it's just not enough to traverse the whole map like they need to. So we just really got to see what is going to happen here as she decides to commit to our ace here.
Ooh, the ACR with a very beautiful double back, just going back to the pallet, seeing. Let's see if he does get a quick tag. Oh, I was put here just waiting to see if the ace is gonna double back or if it's gonna go to Shaq, but sadly she she was just caught off guard by our ace movement here, and
Yeah, Ace is just
going
playing
back
like
to the
the pathing princess of the century here as we commit to the wonderful Adam. Adam is gonna have to put on some form of juicer chase to get 2 gens popped here because I believe if we do commit to Adam, this could be over. Honestly, anything can happen.
Yeah, I mean, we see actually, a very quick tag here on our Adam. Let's see if this is gonna. Oh, very unfortunate here. Our Adam gets caught going to the edge map, and this
I
will
believe
most
how
likely be a
Adam
very
how
quick
Adam
one.
could have. Oh no, unfortunately, I was gonna say how Adam could have possibly made that window if he had a better pathing than the killer here and just read the killer beautifully. But unfortunately, getting caught out on the edge map here and will be put up on a hook towards our gen split. But we do see our 4th gen pop in the distance here. I believe that could have been our survivors doubling that.
That is a very definite possibility here. Um, Obviously splitting would have been way better, but considering how fast the jump up, that could have definitely be a double. But again, we do have how's it called? We do have Zarina injured here, so if we do find the Zarina, this can be pretty much game over for the survivors.
Yeah, definitely agreeing with you on that. It's looking quite rough for our survivors here, having 1 gen remaining, a survivor on hook, our injured survivor, and our last healthy survivor remaining.
Although we do see the reset coming through, so there's most likely gonna be a poll coming very soon,
Yeah,
or
definitely. And also Wretched Fate being gone too, so our survivors can really just pull out anything here. But the gen split, looking at this, it's so tight here. We've got 12-1 and main, so it's looking quite rough and unbreakable, but we definitely got to see if these survivors are able to do something. They're gonna have some jiggy juicer chases. But as I say, that ace is coming in for the trade, which is just further giving our killer more pressure as they choose to slug this hook and commit our Adam.
I would say definitely a very good choice from Akira here, not really caring about the fact that how's it called, that trade happened instead of just trying to go for the Adam, which, ooh, very unfortunately, our Adam here just kind of outsmarted out the Spirit here, going back, taking the hook, and oh, wait a second, the pickup happened. That was something I didn't expect myself. Very interesting play by the survivors here. What do you think our killer will be able to punish this play?
I mean, definitely, you have 3 injured across the board. You're committing to one of them, and you know where the other 2 have ran, or in the general direction that they've ran. Especially now knowing that we see a reset come through, you pretty much know where everyone is right now. So it's really looking at its worst for our survivors of hope here.
Well, as we were talking about punishing a play, the survivors kind of just knew that we were gonna say that, and they decided to just quickly reset before we
Definitely,
could
yeah.
have before we could have finished our sentences. But yeah, how's it called, the Hope Survivors back on full health. Our killer applying Eruption, getting this unhook here. And I would say that Hope Survivors, although I would still say that in a pretty bad spot considering that's a 3v1 at one generator left with this tight of a split, you never know. Maybe they can pull off the win con. Oof, not the Daikon, my bad. Unfortunate.
Yeah, definitely. You never know what's going on, especially if someone is working that shack, that genuine kind of shack there. Anything is really possible. But as I said, our last one does come through. Anytime I speak, something goes against me, which is unfortunate. But yeah, now I now I really think it's done for our survivors with that paperless proc coming through, and the possibility of applying eruption on our gens again. So they're really just able to rinse and repeat the same strategy on the setup here with the gen split that they have as we injure our arena on the main building here.
A very nice injury here from the Spirit. Very unfortunate for us of us here getting Pain Rest at not to say the last second, but definitely the last Pain Rest proc so late in the game. Very unfortunate. Obviously, Pain Rest is such a strong perk. Getting that proc so late in this final gen situation is just very rough for our survivors. Going for the ace, going for the ace. Obviously, just trying to get him out of the game, and as I'm speaking, he will be out of the game. Very well played by our Spirit player here.
Yeah, definitely agree with you. Our Spirit is just playing this beautifully, trying to secure that 4K1 for Supremacy. And I think they're going to be able to do just that as they do find the last two survivors doubling this gen here. Applying Eruption on this generator as we commit to our injured survivor. And it looks like it really, like there's no comeback here as we commit to our last healthy survivor, getting that tag. 200 across the board. We know the general current direction of where both of them are, so it's really looking over.
Two injured survivors, one gen that is currently regressing with Eruption. This is pretty much game over, I would say. Yeah, definitely, obviously going for the slug, wanting to get that 4K1 as quickly as possible. Not playing nicely, obviously. They want to win, and they are going to win based on what we're seeing right now. I would just say right now, the Spirit, the Spirit here played absolutely incredible.
Yeah, definitely some phenomenal. Sorry, I can't English right now. Some phenomenal plays for our Spirit here, securing that 4K1 win con for their team. Because they know that if a survivors pop normal gen, that was the high condition, meaning a replay of the set would have to happen. But look at that beautiful 3 gen. Like, you're able to hold this as Spirit any day of the week. So definitely very, very well played from our killer and from our survivors. I think just going forward in future, our survivors can't put themselves in a 3 gen situation like that, especially when it's so tight around the main building. For a killer like Spirit, you just have so much mobility that you're just able to come back here and make that comeback, even if it's very late into the game. So yeah, very, very well played from both sides of Hope and Supremacy. But this is looking like it's genuinely over for Hope. So very, very unfortunate for these guys, but they came out, they tried their best, and it's what matters. But as I say that, everything is going against me. We see an adrenaline play in the background, and it looks like our survivor might just be playing for a gate here, possibly.
That can actually be how's it called? That can actually be a very big possibility. Now, I'm not really sure where our Adam could be stealthing, besides maybe like at the back of Crane where our Spirit cannot see. But we do see at the same time that the Spirit has pretty much perfect eyesight on both gates. So it's only, I would say, only a matter of time. Yes, as I'm saying things, only a matter of time before our Spirit finds the Adam here. Very unfortunate for the survivors of Hope, but I would still say that they did give their best, even with the unfortunate 3-gen split. They still gave their best, and I'm only wishing them luck in their next games.
Yeah, definitely agree with you. Unfortunately, they will be eliminated from Blood Rush League this season as well as the qualifier matches. But definitely, I wish them the best, and I hope to see these guys play again because this was a really, really close match from both sides, just playing phenomenally. So, yeah, we'll be back after a short intermission with our next matchup.